Thinking about launching a podcast but overwhelmed by all the moving parts? At TurnKey Podcast Productions, we take the hassle out of podcasting so you can focus on the talk, not the tech. From concept to launch, guest booking to post-production, we handle everything. Need a strategy to grow your show and turn guests into clients? Yep, we do that too. DIY or done for you, we've got the solution that fits. Whether you're just getting started or ready to scale, TurnKey is your behind-the-scenes podcast team. TurnKey Podcast Productions. Your voice, your message, fully produced. Learn more at turnkeypodcast.com/contact. That's turnkeypodcast.com/contact.
I'm moving to Montana soon. Gonna be a dental floss tycoon. Or maybe I'll just listen to today's Nice Guys on Business.
Whatever you do, be the expert at it. Learn all you can and then teach people.
Yep.
And not only that, but go after the highest quality, whatever it is in the world. At least try.
Right.
Hey, I'm just going to make okay stuff. And if you're going to be a lawn maintenance guy, man, find out all the different shrubs that grow and all how deep the roots go, what kind of a soil you want, and how to build up and organic, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I mean, just learn everything there is and then train people and explain to people what you've learned. But try to make it the highest quality.
If a leisure suit could talk, it would sound just like the Nice Guys on Business. Go from where you are now to where you could be. Get expert tips to grow your business, to be more productive and more efficient, whether you're trying to build influence, grow your community, or make it rain. Best-selling author of Nice Guys Finish First, Doug Sandler, can lead the way. The Nice Guys on Business is produced by TurnKey Podcast Productions. Now, here's your host, Doug Sandler.
All right, welcome back, Nice Guy community. Today's guest, he's a part Indiana Jones, part leather whisperer, and 100% badass entrepreneur. Dave Munson is his name, and he is the founder and chief dreamer behind Saddleback Leather Company, a global brand known for rugged elegance, craftsmanship, and a 100-year warranty that dares you to outlive your bag. Dave's story isn't just inspiring, it's unforgettable. Also, Dave is the best-selling author of the book, They'll Fight Over It When You're Dead, a wild and wise ride through entrepreneurship, danger, and building something that truly lasts, whether you're here for the leather, the lessons, or maybe some of life's philosophies. We're going to do it, and this episode will deliver. Saddle up. This one's going to be good. Dave, welcome to the Nice Guys on Business podcast.
Hey, Doug. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Happy to have you there. And that is the only prepared part of the interview that we have. The rest of it's just going to be conversation from here. I want to go back to the beginning of our relationship, and you may not even be aware of this, but here's what really made this a really important get for me in having you on the show. So Heather from your team reached out to me, and I don't know if she's a team employee or if she, okay, so that's what I figured based upon her email address. And that was the first thing that won me over. The fact that somebody on your team and not somebody from a foreign email address, I don't care if it's somebody that's overseas. I just mean somebody that's other than Saddleback Leather Company, would have reached out. So number one. Secondly, she was polite. She threw a good pitch, and it was basically just a few sentences. This is Dave. Here's our owner and founder. Here's the guy that I want to have on the show. That was one. That really won me over. Second thing was, the application was filled out very, very quickly by Heather. And the third thing that was really cool is today when you had a timing issue with this, you didn't just stand me up. You had somebody on your team reach out and say, hey, Dave's going to be a little late. Can we put this a little bit later today? And I said, sure, no problem, because I was available. All of those things equates to a guy that runs an organization that probably teaches his people the way that he wants to lead his life, which is be a nice guy, tell the truth, return communication, be on time to your appointments, all of those things. I want to just start there, even before we start to get into your story. So I appreciate you for arriving with a team that has arrived as you have taught them and educated them through the years.
Doug, thank you for saying that. It's very kind of you. We hire people who represent me. I'm the owner, and so we customer service. We hire people who call people back and say, "Hey, how's your mom doing?" 2 weeks later, how'd the surgery go? Uh-huh. And they'll make notes to it. and they'll even pray for people sometimes. Can I pray for you right now? And we just have people who are really nice people, and that's part of our. I mean, I'm thinking if I would I want to go on a road trip with this person for a couple of weeks? Like,
Right.
if the answer is no, they don't get hired. So, yeah, so we just hire really good people. So thank you. I'm going to pass that along.
Please do to both Heather and I'm trying to remember. Hold on,
Anna.
Anna, who reached out to me earlier today about you being delayed, which was great. The second thing that impressed me was your story, man. I mean, you talk about you have it right on your website, which Nice Guy Community. I'll make sure that we put directly in the show notes, but it is saddlebackleather.com, so you have that. Your story from humble beginnings in the search for the perfect something down in Mexico to the product development to avoiding and being elusive of assassins that were potentially looking for you or maybe somebody else, and then just all of the stuff. I mean, I just want to talk about that. Where do we even begin in that journey?
So, um, so here, let me tell you how it kind of started.
Yeah.
So, I used to be a youth pastor and went to school, got a degree in theology, ancient Greek, all that sort of thing. And so I thought, oh, okay, working with youth, I got burned out. And I said, and my old youth pastor from church, he said, hey, Dave, we need someone just like you to go to Mexico and volunteer to teach English. You just got to raise some money and go on down. So I thought, man, this is perfect. I'm burned out. I don't know what to do next. And I was like, yeah, I could be fluent in Spanish and all the Mexican food like every day. Like, this is great. So, so I moved down to Mexico, down to Morelia, kind of near Mexico City. And while I was there, I thought, I need to have a bag made. There's a lot of leather in the area, like tons of leather, markets and all that. So I thought, well, what kind of a bag would Indiana Jones carry?
Mm.
Yeah. So I looking around, couldn't, and I had this image in my head, this really cool leather bag, but I couldn't find one like it for sale. So I found a guy making bags, and I asked him if I sketched it out. He made it for me. I said, I don't want any breakable parts. I'm imagining my grandkids, after I die, they're rummaging through my study and they find this leather bag and they start fighting over it.
Right. Right.
And that's where they'll fight over it when you're dead came from. So, excuse me. So I said, no zippers, no breakable parts. I just want really thick, good looking leather. I don't want it too rough. I want it professional, but cool looking.
Right.
So he made it. And man, everywhere I went, people were tapping me on the shoulder. Dude, where can I buy a bag like that? It was like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times a day, people would ask me. And I thought, maybe there's a business here. Maybe I could sell just some bags on eBay, and then I keep doing youth work. I wouldn't have to have a job.
Right.
And so it just kept going. I went down to Mexico, had some more made. I ended up moving down there. And while I was there, I was selling land around a golf course, and someone didn't want to pay me a commission. And so they said, I'll just send a Mexican federale friend. I'll have him kill me so that way I don't have to pay him the commission. And so he shows up and he's snorting cocaine, and the bad guy's son who hired him like pointed me out at this outdoor wedding I was at, and he came over. He's like, you want me to kill you right now? Have another beer. And I was like, oh, sure. Yeah, you bet. And anyway, so I wrote that, that's part of the story of getting the business going. And so I had my hatchet. I had no Land Cruiser. I had my hatchet in there wedged, and I was gonna crash into
You're gonna hack them up.
I was gonna hack him to pieces. And because I was like, him or me, and that's not such a nice guy thing to do. But
look, I didn't say just because I wrote the book and we have the podcast called Nice Guys on Business does not necessarily mean we are always nice guys. You can't be a pushover. If you nice guys are not pushovers.
Right. So anyway, I ended up, long story short, I met my wife. I was living in Juarez with my dog, Blue. He was a black lab, until about 2006. So that was 99 when I moved to Mexico. all that happened in 2006. I met my wife on MySpace. Blue and I were in a little $100 a month apartment.
MySpace. You just aged yourself. I'm with you.
I know,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm just on AOL dial-up right now. So
So we met in 2006. I moved out of Juarez, Blue and I. We were just in a little $100 a month apartment, no hot water for a few years. But all the money I was making selling bags on eBay in El Paso, I would take them up. This father and son would send them up on the bus. We'd go to the bus station in Juarez and pick up 2 or 3 bags. We'd take it to El Paso and sell them on eBay. And then I met this girl, and I was down in Panama getting pictures of my bag, and I checked this internet cafe, and I was seeing how the bags were selling on eBay. And then I checked MySpace, and I was like, "Oh, she's pretty." She
nice.
loved God. She's, all I was like, "Wow, too good to be true." So moved to San Antonio, married her, and then just a few months later, and then I started a factory in 2008 in Mexico. And then no one cares about your stuff as much as you do.
Of
And
course.
then 2015, we moved up to Fort Worth, and we've been there ever since.
What a fascinating story from leather to love and everything that's in between. For those in our community that want to get more information about the story itself, if you just go to saddlebackleather.com, you'll see Dave's story complete with a lot of pictures, including Blue and the original place. I think you said on one of the lines on your website, if I remember correctly, it was something like, I like this guy. He was very talented as a leather maker, but I couldn't trust him more than I could trust an alligator in a babysitting two-legged cats or something like that. I'm like, that made me chuckle a little bit. So all good stuff. So talk to me about when you realized, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are in our community, and I am an entrepreneur myself. I've been gainfully unemployable by a W-2 employer for the last 40 plus years. So for me, I only know self-employment and I know entrepreneurial spirit and all of that. When you catch that spark, and in your case it was oh my God, I bet I could sell these bags, online, or at the time I could sell them personally or whatever it is on eBay or however you're going to do it. When was it that you realized that you had your hands on something that was more than just this is kind of cool, I bet I could do this, to this is a business. I'm going to put some business dollars and thought and energy behind this. When did that happen in the journey for you?
Yeah. So I went back after I got back from Mexico. I was down there for a year. I Everyone was asking me about the bag. I got back in June. Everyone was asking me about the bag. So in November, I went back to Mexico. I had saved up some money, and I had 8 bags made. And I came back up to the U.S. I went to my sister's house in Texas, and they bought one for $250. Just kind of be nice,
Right.
trying to help me
Supportive.
out, that sort of
Supportive.
thing.
Right.
They just put it in the closet, and then I put a sign in the window of my Land Cruiser. It was an old FJ55. It's just super slow, 55 miles an hour, super loud. And I was driving back to Portland from there at Christmas time. And so I put a sign that said, it's just 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, one in the back window, one where on the left-hand side where all the cars would be passing me. And it said, real cool leather bags for sale.
Nice.
And I thought, may as well take advantage of the trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a 100% chance I won't sell anything if I don't put a sign up. So
Correct.
I pull into Amarillo at night. I was like, I need to stay awake, need some sunflower seeds, that sort of thing. And I was going to sleep in the car. And when I came out, there was this big old dually pickup truck with this couple. And they said, hey, we saw your sign in the back.
We followed you for the
said,
past 200 miles.
it's like real cool leather. Can I see one? So I pulled it out, and they're like, oh, this is beautiful. Yeah. Do you take a check? And I go, no, I'm sorry, cash only. And they said, okay, we'll be right back. And I thought, oh, I'll never see them. Dude, they came right back from the ATM with $250. We switched, we traded. I was like, what? Okay, there's something going on here. I sold all the rest of them really quickly. And when I got back to Portland, like just a few hours, hanging off my rack of the Land Cruiser on this nice street, shopping street. But that one bag that my sister bought from me a couple of years later, a year later, she said, "Hey Dave, do you mind if we sell it on eBay?" She was selling everything on eBay,
Right.
and it went for $335. And I was like, "What?" I wrote a little description for her, And then anyway, but then they just kept on going until we had for about $710 a piece.
Well,
And
what's so nice about the bags is they each one, and I was watching the video of you in the Sahara Desert doing your show and tell, and then looking through the inventory online. Your bags really do have that Indiana Jones vibe to them. Very much soft where it needs to be soft, but rugged where it needs to be rugged. And then it's the unbreakable parts. I have and again, not speaking ill of any competition at all, but I have a Coach bag. And I want to talk to you about why don't you have any guys bags on there? Maybe you do. I just didn't see it. But you have a women's tab. I want you to have a guys tab also. But anyway, I think about like all the stuff. You have these cool ways to wrap the things open, closed, and really, really creative. Very old school, very old school. And it's like, why wouldn't these are premium looking, feeling bags. So I want to talk about the bags if we could, and then I want to talk about your unique concept, this membership concept that you have, and maybe it's unique within your space, but in the podcasting space, membership is pretty common, where we charge a membership fee every month or a subscription fee every month, and somebody gets our services, unlimited services for the month. In a leather company, though, I don't know. How does this work? So I started looking deeper into it. So let's talk about the construction of the bags, and then we'll get into the membership thing. So talk to me about construction of your bags.
yeah, so I tell people ask me all the time, "Hey, I want to start a business, Uncle Dave," or whoever.
Right.
They'll
Right.
say, "What can I do?" And I tell people, "Man, whatever you do, be the expert at it. Like
Yep.
learn all you can and then teach
Yep.
people.
Yep. Yep.
And not only that, but go after the highest quality, whatever it is in the world. Like
Got
at
it.
least try.
Right.
Like, don't like, hey, I'm just going to make okay stuff. And if you're going to be a like lawn maintenance guy, man, find out all the different shrubs that grow and all how deep the roots go, what kind of a soil you want, and how to build up and organic, blah blah blah. I
Yep.
mean, just learn everything there is, and then train people and explain to people like what you've learned. But try to make it the highest quality. And I also tell people what we've done. What I did, I swore off zippers. The zippers aren't the worst thing in the world,
Right.
but they do break, and once they break, it's your bag's over.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a $1,000 piece of luggage that has a YKK zipper on it, and the challenge is that the zipper will break, and you're not that you can't. They probably have it guaranteed or warranted, but you don't want to be without your luggage for that amount of time. It's an inconvenience to have that. So no, I agree with you. Even warranties aren't, well, they warranty it. Well, I don't care. I don't want to send my bag back, and then I got to go to the post office and do all the BS that I got to go through.
Yeah, it's like having I got a 1,000,000 mile warranty on the car, well, or 100,000 miles, whatever. As you're on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere,
Do you
and a
care?
bunch of wahoos pull over to help you out,
Right.
and
Right.
you're like, yeah, who cares about the warranty? I just want a car that lasts. So, I say give yourself a constraint. So I was trying to do a duffel bag without a zipper, and I was like, man, how do you do that?
It's hard.
Because when you lift up the handle in the middle,
Yeah.
on the top, in the middle, on the lid,
Splits.
it opens, and
Yeah.
people can look in there, see your underwear, and
Right.
it's like, how do you close a duffel bag? Like, what do you do? And a toiletry kit, how do you, if the lotion explodes or pressure, whatever,
Right.
toothpaste comes open, like, how do you keep that from getting all over the place with no zipper? And so what happened though is it made me think long and hard. And what it did is that giving myself that constraint really helped me to come up with some really neat designs.
Nice, nice. Well, if you're again, go over to Dave's website. You'll check it out. And link is in the show notes. You'll check it out, and you'll see some of those creative products that he has in there. And they're old school in their vibe. They look great. They look distressed, but they're new. They look soft, but they're rugged. You know, all of the things that you want in a quality leather good. All right, so talk to me about now about the membership thing. When did this come across your innovation brain as an
All right.
entrepreneur?
So so we have people who own our bags who meet together like I don't know every month or every so often. They meet up in Australia, they meet up in London, they meet up in New Jersey. They like owners get together. And so there's a natural kind of a community there. So we have a membership um, that is it's like almost too good to be true. So we have you get a about $800 worth of leather for $399 or
Yep.
$499. You get and plus you get 10 you get all these benefits.
Right.
If you own the package, it's just too good. And so a lot of people are collect our stuff, and so they buy a lot of things. So having like a discount that comes with it and that sort of thing.
Right.
But also it's phase one of a bigger membership. So we want to have like I want my customers to benefit from being an owner. Besides having a cool bag that people stop them and ask them about it and stuff, I want them to. So what we're doing is we're going to be promoting. If you're a member, you get promoted. Your business gets promoted. Like so, if you're looking for a pediatric dentist because you're new in this little town,
Right.
and so you click on Dave's list, and there are 19 pediatric dentists within 20 miles, and then you look who owned the bags, and then you look at who has your kind of bag. You look up their reviews. We say we can't we can't vouch for their quality, but we can vouch for the fact that they do value quality.
That's really good. Can I ask you approximately how many members do you have worldwide?
Well, we're just starting the first one, so we've had it for 3 years of product only, but we're moving into it. So it's small right now. We're moving
Yeah,
into the bigger one. Just a few thousand right now. So
that's awesome.
we're moving into the bigger where it doesn't cost them anything, but they benefit from being included. Putting in where do you want to eat? Where are the best places in your area?
I love this next level membership. It's all about somebody that values quality leather probably also values other things of quality in their life, and whether it's dental services or car mechanics or HVAC owners or HVAC systems, it doesn't really matter. Somebody that owns a quality leather bag probably pays attention to detail, I would think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's and if you're just kind of guessing, pediatric dentist, my kid has all his teeth now, but he has a toothache. Who do I ask? Where do I go? But at least there are 50 pediatric dentists in DFW area, so at
Yep,
least you
yep.
try. So the membership, here's the thing. I got to have lunch with Zig Ziglar when he was 82 before he died. And I sat right across from him. And there were six of us there. And I said, if everything, all your media, your 30 some odd books all disappeared, went away, he was voted like the most successful man in America for
Yeah,
decades.
yeah.
And I said, if all of it went away and you could only leave us with one book, what would you say? What would you leave us with? He said three things. Court your spouse because success starts at home.
Hmm.
He said, encourage everybody. And he said, three, try to help everyone around you to be as successful as they can be.
Amazing.
Those three things. And those are all others focused. Those are all nice guy things. They're
Totally.
not they're not me focused. Hey, I'm gonna be my self-made man. Look at me roar, watch me roar, listen, hear me roar. I'm great. Don't you understand? No, it's I want you to be great. I want you to have a good marriage. I'm going to encourage you so that you can do it. What you just need a little bit of encouragement. I'm going to help your dental clinic to get more customers. I'm just going to try to help everyone around me. And so to be others focused is the key to success.
It's funny you use Zig as a reference. My dad and Zig were of the same era, and my dad, a lot of his training came from the inspiration that Zig Ziglar had created. So much so that later in life, after Zig passed, I became buddies with Zig's son, Tom Ziglar,
Oh yeah, I
and
know Tom.
it's so funny that you say that because again, just part of it being a small world, you happen to bring up Zig Ziglar, and that is awesome. So I appreciate you sharing that story and the sentiment that came along with it, and the inspiration that came along with that too.
Yeah, actually, Tom's the one who invited me to lunch with his
Nice.
dad.
Tom is a master connector. I mean, Tom and Zig was this way as well, but Tom, it feels like with Tom, it is part of his. It wasn't a learned skill; it was something innate, and of course, that came from Zig itself. Is that skill? I want to move on to something else because the reason why part of the pitch was good when Heather reached out to me initially was because she wanted to talk about your book. So I want to spend just a moment or two before we wrap up, of course, and talk about that. It's called "They'll Fight Over It When You're Dead: The Story of How I Survived Terrorists, Morons, and an Assassin to Build One of the Coolest Leather Companies in the World." It's already getting really great reviews on Amazon.com. When did the book come out? Just last month, right? Or just in July of 2025, correct?
Yeah, July 1st was the big launch date, and I've heard positive things so far from it. So that's, when you write something, everyone's like pats you on the shoulder. Hey, that's really nice. Uh-huh, that's really nice. And you can't always tell what, but people have told me that they've bought copies for their friends
Well, that's
and
always
for their
inspiring
nephews.
too.
And
When you hear that, when they've bought them for friends or given them away at corporate events or anything like that, that's always a telling fact right there. What was the reason you wrote the book? Again, there's a whole laundry list of reasons why you could have written it, but what was the actual reason why you wrote the book?
so Zig Ziglar at that lunch, he said about a dozen times, you have got to write a book. You really need to write a book. He didn't tell me why. He just said, you really, really, really need to write a book.
Yeah.
And he went on and on and on. And I thought, okay, that's nice. Uh-huh. Well, it's a lot of work, but and you wrote your book. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Uh, like you're a better man because you wrote the book.
Oh, totally. Discipline, and it gets all your stories down on paper, which is really cool. And it's a legacy that will outlast you. Even if you sell two copies of it, you still have a book that you've written. And it's also a good, for me in the transition from a business that I was in for 30 years to the next phase of my life at the time 50. I really just wanted to figure out what was the next step for me, and it was really a helpful transition. It was like a cold cut to the next phase of my life.
Yeah. So for me, I'd learned a lot of things. And in marriage, I say, we've been married 18 years, 15 of those years happily. So, and so we, but there, we read the book Love and Respect, and that changed our marriage completely. And it's the number one marriage book in the world for that. And so I wanted to let people know about that. And and then I learned about marketing and branding. I didn't know that I was good at branding and marketing. And so we have a really strong brand. People have told us, "Oh man, it's the coolest leather company in the world." That's why I put that on there because people say that all the time. And I think it's a good one. I don't know, if it's the coolest one in the whole world, but
It's all perspective. If they
it's
think it is, then it is.
and so I put that on there. But and so I want to share in there some marketing and branding uh, tips and just real stuff you can go do later today. Um, how to run the business by the numbers. Man, I've heard that for years. And I was like, yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah, I'm not a
Like,
by
I
the
mean, I have to
numbers
be an
kind of guy.
accountant. You mean I have to
Totally
be an accountant? And I was
right.
like, oh, that's awful. That's awful stuff. But no, I just found out how to do it. Even though people have tried to tell me, and it's easy. I can't believe it, how easy it is. And this guy who ran a $12 billion company, he's a friend of ours. He retired. And I said, hey, Steve, can you help me with my business? And we have the factory and all that. It's really complicated. And he goes, sure. And he said, first of all, what's your vision? the first thing, what's your vision? He sat down with our team and said, what's your vision? And so I explained really simple terms how to have a vision, which is so important. And then he said, you got to run the business by the numbers, and here's what we're going to do. Oh my, he just held my hand like I felt like a little kid, and he just walked me through it, walked our whole team through it. And now we all run it by the numbers, every department. It is so cool. It changed everything. So I thought, man, I got to get this out.
Right.
I got to get this word out. And so anyway, I just felt like I wanted to, and we have I feel like God's given us a really good story. It's crazy sometimes. We went vacationing with terrorists in Somalia on accident, Al-Shabaab terrorists.
Right.
I was like, and I had these little kids with me. I was like, what a horrible dad I am. This is terrible. What was I thinking? I didn't know. I didn't know we were in Somalia, really. And, but the boat took us anyway. So I tell these stories of how when we're getting the business going and then, but these things have brought me joy too. And so, and so like we've probably taken maybe 400 people to Rwanda with us to visit their sponsored kids. And so a lot of these trips and these adventures and these things we do, it's just on the way back. We go, hey, let's stop off in the Sahara. Hey, let's stop off in Kenya. Hey, let's stop off in wherever. And then we go and we're like, dude, that was awesome. And so, but those things bring me joy, and money doesn't always bring people joy.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot more to business than just money. And so I wanted to share that with that more of a bigger, there's a lot bigger purpose in life than just making money. And so, but there's a lot to make on if you focus on other people, and that brings joy like crazy. And so anyway.
No, I appreciate all of that. I love that you've said all of that. It really gives me a better picture, even closer picture of what drives you, part of your vision. It's not necessarily about the money. It's about the what you're doing in the impact that you're having in this world. The more you are talking, the more I'm thinking about the shows that are in our network. We produce podcasts for many other business owners that run business podcasts that are tied to the message of their show. And the more I think about it, the introductions that I just made in my head for you, which I'll do after we stop recording here, I'll make sure that we get those introductions made so you can get on some other podcasts and share your word and your vision even a little bit more. We have a branding show that I think would be great because you mentioned that about branding. We have someone that's in the legal profession, but he focuses more on light bulb moments, those aha moments that we have in our lives. And those are things that I know that you do a fabulous job of sharing in story. And for those in our community, again, I'll make sure that I mention this and I'll drop a link in the show notes. The book is called They'll Fight Over It When You're Dead, and referring to the bag itself and the quality and craftsmanship of the bag. Yet weaving these business stories through, or weaving the business lessons learned in the real life stories that Dave Munson has gone through. Anything that I should be asking you that I haven't? Anything that you and Heather talked about beforehand? Please make sure you do this when you get on anybody's podcast. What are those things that I'm not asking you that I want to make sure I'm not being in error, missing to ask you, Dave?
Oh boy, yeah, Doug, You've asked. I can't think of anything else to say.
Oh, good,
no,
man.
Seriously, it was really comprehensive. How we got the business going, but yeah, I just want to encourage people to be thinking about other people. And in what I said before we started is that my daughter, like, are you the kind of person that you would want your daughter to marry? Like. And success isn't always with money, but of course, I'd rather have money than not money.
Yeah, my mom always used to say to me, and she probably still does if she remembers it, but she would say, "Hey, rich or poor, it's nice to have money."
Yeah.
and it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich girl than it is to fall in love with a poor one. All of those wonderful sayings that my mom has since I was a kid. But thank you, Dave. Oh, go ahead.
Someone said, I've been miserable rich and I've been miserable poor, and I prefer miserable rich.
That's right. That was probably one of like Mae West or somebody like that said something like that. Dave, I really appreciate you sharing your story and your inspiration and your company with us. If you want to find out more information about Dave, just click the links in the show notes, whether it's about his book, the membership, or just his products. Do all of those things. Dave Munson, thanks for being here and hanging out on the Nice Guys today.
Doug, thanks for having me. Appreciate
Hey,
talking with you.
Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of nice. Again, special thanks to Dave Munson. All info will be right there in the show notes. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Fill up your week with the Nice Guys. That's their story, and they're sticking to it.